Okay, well, hello and welcome. Tonight, I'd like to introduce everyone to Star Trek The Next Generation trivia. I thought I would do a run through of this game, which is from 1990, came out on DOS, and I think maybe Apple too as well. Um, and I kind of stumbled across this. I was completely, I don't know, it tickles me that this exists. And I think what's even better is I did not even realize until I was looking at the page and I was seeing program coding and design by George Broussard and thinking, George Broussard, I know that name. Why do I know that name? Where do I know that name from? I have to Google it. And Google tells me, of course, that George Broussard was one of the creators of the Duke Nukem series. Of course, famously Duke Nukem Forever, but I think also several of the others in the series, which, gosh, now I feel like maybe I should play those sometimes. Those would be a blast from the past. Um, but oh, but I never actually played these trivia games. I did open the game quickly just to see what kind of trivia questions there were. I think some of them I'm actually going to struggle with, but I do want to see if I can like get through all of them. My understanding is there's about 100 questions, but you know what? We're just going to get in and we're going to see what happens. Okay. So, Star Trek The Next Generation Trivia, Volume 1. I do believe there's a Volume 2 and 3, but I only have Volume 1 because I do believe that is the shareware volume. I do think it would be interesting to go look and see if the other volumes are around. I also saw some people talk about work done back, back then in the 90s to add additional questions from later seasons. So that would also be something interesting to look up. But yeah, this is a shareware game. And, George Broussard, I don't know if that's still your P.O. box in Garland, Texas, but okay. Who plays Jean-Luc Picard in the series? I think it's Patrick Stewart. Nice. And yeah, this game has like a timed bonus system, so I actually have to kind of act quickly. I mean, I don't have to act quickly, but I choose to act quickly to get the bonus points. Ship's crew. Data's eyes are blue. That's false. In Contagion, the technologically advanced planet of blank is discovered. In Contagion. Oh, is it Iconia? A probe from the planet destroyed the USS Yamato. That was a guess. Planet names. I don't know if I could pick out all the planet names. Which episode contains the characters Captain Walker Keel, Captain Ricks, Captain Tryla Scott? Conspiracy? Nice. Is that the humans? Is that the humans in the Romulan episode? Maybe. In which episode does Deanna Troi become pregnant? The child. Just checking the stream. Just want to make sure everything's going okay. Aliens. Two characters named 10 and 01 are members of the Binar race. So far, so good. 6 correct. In Symbiosis, the entire population of Ornara is addicted to Felicium. Ship's crew. In Peak Performance, who does Riker select as his number 1 for the battle simulation? Oh boy, I don't remember. That was a guess. In the Schizoid Man, Dr. Ira Graves has which disease? Darnase? Events. In Coming of Age, Admiral Quinn wants Picard to also become an admiral. I don't remember. Oh, there we go. We used one of our misses. Quotes. Who says I did not win? I busted him up. That's Data. In Peak Performance, Stratagema. Hey, I got a free miss. That's always fun. That'll help, I guess. I don't know. Where does Guinan work? 10 forward. 10 backward. Oh, George. Events. Is the Barzan wormhole stable in the price? It is not. Spoilers. That's a spoiler. Oh, gosh. That's a spoiler. Which episode features a swirling energy vortex that destroys the Enterprise? A time loop puzzle. I don't remember that episode. Data risked breaking the Prime Directive by contacting a smart child in Pen Pals. Events. In Heart of Glory, how many Klingons are beamed aboard the Enterprise from the Talarian freighter? Is it 3? Oh, I pressed the 3 key. I think the answer was actually 3, but it needed to press 4. Why does the Enterprise go to Ligon 2 in Code of Honor? To search for survivors of a shipwreck? Oh boy. I might fail out. Wesley Crusher gets his first command of a planetary mineral survey in Pen Pals. True? That was a guess. Ship's crew. What is Wesley Crusher's rank? He's, well, this is the early seasons, so I think it's looking for acting ensign. Events. The Enterprise uses the Crimson Force Field in the battle? False? Who does Q offer powers and membership into the Continuum? Will Riker. Aliens. Worf faints on the bridge of the Enterprise in Up the Long Ladder. False? Oh, there it goes. We're out of free misses. Kalair, a female, half human, half Klingon, appears in blank and knew Worf in the past. The Emissary. They were lovers. Events. In Measure of a Man, Data is bluffed out of a poker hand by William Riker. Got that free miss. Episodes. In which episode does a mediator named Riva appear? The Last Outpost? Nope. And it doesn't even tell you what the real answer is. Quotes. In which episode does Gregory Quinn say, "I have reason to believe there may be something very wrong on this ship"? I think it's 4, but I'm probably wrong. Yeah. I think that's it. You ran out of free misses. Game over. The score of 4,328. We got 20 out of 26. Pretty good. I'm going to enter my name. Let's try again. Thanks, George. In which episode does... Okay, it's not conspiracy. Let's try coming of age. There we go. What is the name of the arrogant propulsion expert in Where No One Has Gone Before? Kaczynski. An encounter at Farpoint, Q demonstrated his powers by blank. Freezing a crewman. What is Wesley? Wesley? Yeah. Which alien race demands that a colony on Tau... Isn't it Cygna? It's the Shellyak. Episodes. Which episode features a swirling energy vortex that destroys the Enterprise? Time squared. In Measure of a Man, Riker cuts his arm with a knife. No, he switches him off. Places. In Contagion, the technologically advanced planet of Iconia is discovered. A duplicate of Picard appears in one of Enterprise's shuttles in Time Squared. Data risked breaking the Prime Directive in Pen Pals. In Coming of Age, Wesley met Mordock during his exam for Starfleet Academy. What race was Mordock? Mordock is a Benzite. In which episode does Riker beam down on an away team and find a Las Vegas-style hotel and casino? One of my favorite episodes, The Royale. Or it was such a badly written book. Full of endless cliches. What does Q offer powers and membership? Riker. Ship's crew. In The Naked Now, who carries the disease back? It's Geordi, I think. It's not his fault or anything, just, you know, it lands on him. Which episode features characters named Reginald and Grebnidlog? These are the Packleds of the Samaritan Snare. Wesley Crusher gets his first command. I don't remember that episode, or at least I don't remember his plot in that episode. I remember the data side. What is the name of Loxana Troy's manservant? Mr. Home. In the neutral zone, approximately how long has it been since contact with the Romulans? I think it's been 50 years. Nice. Ship's crew. In Measure of a Man, blank is the prosecutor against Data in the hearing to decide if Data may be dissected. Riker. Riker had no choice. It is his duty. Tell that to the modern writers. Events. The Enterprise uses the Crimson Force Field in the battle. False. Quotes. I have handed over control of this vessel to acting Captain Wesley Crusher, is in The Naked Now. Wesley uses a device that simulates Picard's voice. It's true. In Samaritan Snare, Picard has to go to the starbase to get his heart replaced. He has a mechanical heart. Spoiler alert. Where does Guinan work? Bar 10. Which episode contains Q has made the Borg aware of the Federation years before it would have occurred? That was Guinan and Q Who? Ship's Crew. Which episode does Wesley help the chief engineer rebuild the ship's tractor beam into a repulsor beam? The stellar material. Ship's Crew. In the Dolphin, blank falls in love with... It's Wesley, I think. Or is it Riker? It's Wesley. In which episode does Worf partake in the Klingon death ritual? Heart of Glory. Maybe. Yeah, hey. Ship's Crew. What is the name of the detective character? Dixon Hill. I need a drink. We're 27 out of 28. We're doing great. In Heart of Glory, how many Klingons are beamed aboard? I'm not going to misclick this time. I do think it's 3. I'm going to press 1. Yeah. Events. Why does the Enterprise go to Ligon 2 in Code of Honor? Was it to search for survivors of a shipwreck? Or no, it wasn't. It wasn't. 2 characters named 10 and 01 are binars. Quotes. Who says, I did not win, I busted him up? It's Data. Stratagema. Doing pretty good on these free misses. Ship's Crew. What type of brain does Data have? It's positronic. Positively positronic. Which is the only episode that had 2 one-hour parts? This is a misleading thing to ask at this point. It's not the game's fault, though. Which episode contains more urgent matters have caused our absence? We have been negligent, but to more, we are back. It's the Romulans from the neutral zone. Events. Transfers his body, or transfers his mind, into the body of blank before he dies. Data. Who wants to live forever? Which actor played Q? It's John Delancey. Oh, I could do these actor questions all day. Picard decides to initiate the auto-destruct system in Where Silence Has Lease to save the ship. I do think he does. Ship's crew in Shades of Grey. Which crew member is bitten? It's Riker. It's the clip show. It's the clip show. Star Trek does a clip show. Events. Is the Barzan wormhole stable? No. No, it's not. These quotes are tough. Which episode contains "You felt no satisfaction, you wanted her to suffer, you have a great need"? It's Skin of Evil, Troy talking to Armus. Claire, female, emissary. They were lovers. Events. In the price. What are the Federation and the other delegates bargaining for? A wormhole. The Barzan wormhole. Devanani Rawl, baby. Quotes. In which episode does Data say a joke is an antic, a caper, or mischief? 2. Our bitrate is unstable. Why is our bitrate unstable? Can you tell me more, Twitch? Everything I see is normal. Everything should be good. Average stream bitrate too high. Too high. Well, I can't change that right now. Wow. We're just going to keep going for now. Episodes. In which episode is Geordie LaForge trapped in a pit with a Romulan on the planet of Galorndon Core? That would be The Enemy. Yeah, I like these season 3 episode questions. I remember those. Episodes. Hey. Episodes. Which episode features a nomadic band of marauders called the Gatherers? How many episodes were in the first season? Oh, is it 26 or 24? 26. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, back when television was television, baby. Ship's crew. In Q-Who, newly arrived Ensign Sonia Gomez spills a cup hot chocolate or Tellurian tea? Hot chocolate or Tellurian tea? Hey, hey, that was a guess. Quotes. Which episode contains... This is the Arsenal of Freedom. In Unnatural Selection, blank ages rapidly. Dr. Pulaski. Who says, "What is it like for the hunter to lie down with the prey?" to Worf? Probably a Klingon. That sounds like a Klingon thing to say, but it could be Q. We are We are doing great on these 3 misses. Events. What destroyed the USS Yamato in Contagion? A matter-antimatter explosion. Aliens. Which episode features a mentally underdeveloped race of beings called the Pakleds? That's the Samaritan Snare. Worf faints on the bridge of the Enterprise and up the long ladder. He has a Klingon version of the measles. What is Dr. Pulaski's first name? Kate. In Symbiosis, the entire population of Ornara is addicted to Felicium. In which episode does Deanna Troi become pregnant? It's the child. Who created Data? It's Dr. Noonien Soong. Dr. Noonien Stark. That's good. That's a good reference. Which episode contains Hold where you are, Clag. I have relieved Kargan. I am now your captain. Oh. Is it a matter of honor? I don't get to know. How did the Enterprise crewman Lieutenant Marla Astor die in the bonding? A phaser beam from hostile forces, I think. Oh, was it a transporter malfunction? Or maybe an explosion? People die on that show. Events. In Measure of a Man, Data is bluffed out of a poker hand by Riker. Aliens. In the Ensigns of Command, the Shellyak have not communicated with the Federation in blank years. In Peak Performance, Data beats Kolrami the first time the two played Stratagema. False. In which episode does a mediator named Riva appear? Too Short a Season? No, Loud as a Whisper. It's kind of in the title. Ship's crew in Elementary Dear Data. Data plays the part of blank in an adventure. Sherlock Holmes. Wesley creates a new form of nanite, a mechanical being, during a genetics experiment in Evolution. Yeah, sometimes the name is a hint. In which episode does Data have appeared? I don't know. Pen Pals? Events. In Coming of Age, Admiral Quinn wants Picard to also become an admiral? I don't know. I guess the answer is false. Who plays Deanna Troi's mother? Majel Barrett. This is the kind of trivia I can get behind. What type of aliens can be found on the planet of Pacifica? Fish-like. Which episode contains the following characters? Conspiracy. It's the one about the conspiracy. I don't know why I thought it was the one with the Romulans. In which episode does Geordi LaForge use the holodeck? It's Booby Trap. Once again, it's in the name. Ship's counselor Deanna Troi had a relationship with which member of the crew before she joined the Enterprise? It was William Riker. Aliens. In which episode do we meet the Binars? 11001001. Ship's crew. What is Data's rank? I think he's a lieutenant commander. In which episode do we see a character from the original TV series? Of these selected, it's Encounter at Farpoint. Which episode does Joe Piscopo appear? The Outrageous Okona. In peak performance, who does Riker select as his number one for the battle simulation? Riker selects Worf. I keep thinking he selects Data, but that's a different episode. The planet of Blank is rumored to have a planetary cloaking device to protect its technology from marauders. Oh. Ship's crew. Data's eyes are blue, that's false. That's just not true. In Conspiracy, Riker is taken over by the alien parasites, but is saved by Picard. False. It's fake. In which episode is Picard seen as a god by Liko, a proto-Vulcan on the planet of Mintaka 3, who watches The Watchers, one of the greatest episodes of the series? In Who Watches the Watchers, why does Dr. Crusher beam Liko back to the Enterprise's sickbay? Well, he, oh boy, did he break his leg or did he hit his head? Let's say he hit his head. In the Arsenal of Freedom, a newer, better war machine appears every blank minutes. 15? Okay, some of these are very specific. We learn that Picard's old ship was named the Stargazer. And you can read more about it in the Star Trek Encyclopedia. Who makes the initial contact with the inhabitants of Angel 1 in Angel 1? Troi or Riker? Riker? Ooh. We're running out of free misses. Which planet has a government that is ruled by women? Is this Angel 1? From the episode of the same name. In which episode does the Enterprise go to a planet to search for survivors of the freighter Odin? See, some of these are like, what were they doing before the actual plot started? What is the first name of Deanna Troi's mother? Loaxana. In The Survivors, Riker gets caught in which type of trap? He gets trapped in a snare. Episodes. Which episode is Tasha Yar killed by an evil alien named Armus? Once again, spoilers, but it's Skin of Evil, which I guess also spoiler. In which episode was the Enterprise meeting with the SS Tsiolkovsky while watching the collapse of a star? I don't know sometimes. That's just the truth. Which episode is Lieutenant Yar kidnapped from the Enterprise and forced into a fight to the death? It's Code of Honor. I think objectively the worst episode of Next Generation. What is the name of Riker's father? I think it's Kyle. Roger Riker makes me laugh. Which is the first episode Dr. Pulaski appears as Dr. Crusher's replacement? The Child, I think. Which episode are several children kidnapped from the Enterprise? The title for 3 would make the most sense. William Riker is offered his first command aboard the Blank in the Icarus Factor. I want to say it's the Ares, but this might be the end. Hey! Who plays Jean-Luc Picard? It's Patrick Stewart. Hey, we made it to question 100, baby. What was the name of Data's twin? Well, his twin is named Lore in the episode Data Lore. You made it through all the questions. Hey, that's pretty cool. We have a new high score. Is there a way to see the high score? Da da na na da na na. I don't think there is a way to see the high score. Maybe it's recorded somewhere. Maybe it's written to a text file somewhere. That'd be fun. So there are 3 volumes, and each will test your knowledge of the series. Yeah, I think I would be much worse at the original series trivia of the same style, because I just haven't seen all the episodes. So it would be very difficult unless it was about dribbles or Sarek or Romulans. Yeah. A couple others. Well, that was great. I'm glad I did that. I can cross that off the list. I've seen all 100 questions. If I ever find volume 2 and 3, I think that would be fun to also do those. But also, you know, I don't know if those are still available. I bet they are somewhere. But, you know, not exactly the kind of game you see on GOG or something. But I figured this would be fun to try. I'm still testing out my streaming setup and getting my audio configured. This is actually, I'm hoping, going to be a really good test for my audio so that I can go back and you know, make sure everything sounds how I want it to, make sure all the levels are set the way that I want it to. I do want to figure out why the stream is being reported as unstable. I feel like I'm letting OBS set everything automatically. Also, I'm now realizing that the questions on the screen were probably tiny, so I will work on that next time. Oh, that's silly. I didn't even think about that. Well, that's why I was reading it out loud to you. I hope you enjoyed my narration of this Star Trek The Next Generation trivia game created by George Broussard. Uh, I thought it was pretty good. If I were to give it an off the cuff rating, um, I don't know, 4 out of 5. Yeah, I think it doesn't commit any errors really. Uh, it's not its fault that there are 4 more seasons that make it difficult for any kind of question where it's like, when is this the only time that happened? Or when is this piece of information that later gets more context and or is contravened and or is retconned, etc., etc., you know. Um, but also, okay, I suppose the point I'm taking off is the idea that I'm supposed to remember like kind of not pivotal quotes or an episode will start and it'll be like Patrick Stewart is going, Stardate 77 blah blah blah, and they'll be doing something, but it doesn't matter to the rest of the episode. It's just they're always doing something, and the idea is that we're jumping into the middle of another adventure before they're called away to what the actual plot is about. Um, and I felt like maybe I'm just misremembering, but it seemed like a couple of the questions were like, do you remember what the Enterprise was doing before the plot started? And the answer is no. I don't remember what the Enterprise was doing before the plot started. And so I suppose that is, I mean, again, that is a trivial piece of information. And so I shouldn't be upset that it's fulfilling its purpose so well. But um, honestly, my favorite question were about the actors and a little bit about the episode titles. Like, those are pretty memorable. Um, I was hoping there was going to be more like, I don't know, even more obscure trivia. Like, I don't know, things more esoteric. This was a little bit too much like, who said this line of dialogue in that episode you don't remember? Um, but again, a simple trivia game. I just wanted something to play through. I do think I might do like a string of Star Trek games. I've discovered that there are several older Apple II DOS era Star Trek text adventures that I think would be fun to travel through, as it were. Um, yeah, I think I didn't realize that I would get through this so quickly, but that was fun. We saw all the questions, and now I think I will sign off. But I appreciate if you've come by to check out Star Trek The Next Generation Trivia, Volume 1 by George Broussard from 1990. We did it. We got the high score. We didn't answer every question correctly, but what more can you ask for? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, I would appreciate a follow. You can find me other places around the internet, all under the name Aaron Verber. See you later.